Oh no, it's not. Good evening, everybody. How you doing? It's wee Paddy from across the shop with his two wee mates with him. The top with me is Justin, and the bottom is wee Mikey. And you're very welcome to the. So we've got a nice subject tonight. I hope that nobody gets annoyed or anything, because it will only make it better for me. We're going to be talking about Chinese knives, and we've picked 5 knives that's in our collection that are Chinese, and we're going to tell you why we like them, because they're bloody good. And 10.
5.
Yeah, I haven't got 10 here, unless it's not the one company.
But we'll get into that, because actually finding them became a problem, because it has been a part of an evolving process. But I think there's an awful lot of nostalgia for all 3 of us in terms of what they've meant to us, and what they've helped us do. So it'll be interesting. But before we get into that, Stephen.
Yeah, the one thing I was going to say, we decided we'd have 5 from different companies. And that is a struggle for me now, because I don't have that many different companies that are made in Chinese. Nearly all my knives are going to be American, rest of the world, and UK. So, which is quite nice. I'm quite happy it's like that, but it's not done for any malice or anything like that. It's just what I've got. So anyway, we have got a fantastic guest on the 14th of next month, 14th of August. We've got Stephen Cocker. I've got a couple of Stephen's knives. He's a custom maker, but he's also the head cutler at what's that company called, Mikey?
Durham Duplex.
Durham Duplex. So we'll have plenty to ask him, and he's going to bring some of his own knives, some of the new ones that Durham Duplex are now making. I can't get used to that word. But yeah, it'll be nice. So that leads me on to Mikey. You've got a bit of news that connects with Durham Duplex.
It does indeed. It does indeed. I've had a wee visit last weekend to the new Durham Duplex workshops that are at Kelham Island on Messers Row. So they've got Stan Shaw's old workshop. They've got the big workshop in the middle, and the end workshop, when it's open, will actually be the shop where you can go and buy pocket knives. But they are up there. There's 4 cutlers there. They are making knives. They are sending out orders. And I've got to say, it looks absolutely fantastic. They work right in front of the windows. So you can look in these old-fashioned windows, and you can just see them there, hand-making everything. It's brilliant.
That's really super. Really
good. It looks so good, because they've made this old cobbled street, and it's been there for years. So it looks really old. It's a cobbled floor, old shop fronts, and it's old workshops, and it just looks amazing. It looks like you're going back 100 years.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a tourist hotspot. Even if they don't like knives, I think it's just a tourist hotspot. They love seeing things like that. I do. And I can't wait to go and see it next year.
Yeah, we'll probably have to give Judd a bit of a lift up so he can see over the window ledge.
Oh, I thought you meant over the cobble.
I'm glad that you'll be helping out, but this is what Mikey's talking about. He'll get stuck
between the ruts and the cobbles.
This is what Mikey's talking about. This is what it looks like.
So that's the end shop. You can see 2 display cases, and that's going to be the shop where they sell the knives from.
When does that take place? When do they open up the shop?
I'm not sure. At the moment, they're catching up with orders. That's the main workshop where you can look through those 2 windows onto the workbenches, and they face you whilst they're putting together the knives and stuff. And then that's the shop and the workshop, yeah. And then you've got Stan's old workshop on the far end as well.
And is anybody working in Stan's workshop, or has it just been left the way it would have been left?
So they've walled off Stan's actual workbench,
right?
So that's not being used now. But the back of the workshop is where all the belt machines are, all of the grinders and the sanding machines, and they're using Stan's tools. Yeah.
Right. Oh, that's fantastic. That really is a bit of nostalgia.
It really is. Yeah.
Have you any news for us, Justin?
Well, if you've been watching any of the news lately, you'll realize that Victorinox have released a new series of, we can't call them knives, we have to call them tools, because they are actually sants or sanks as opposed to sacks. So they are Swiss Army no knives, and they have been released in Alox or Alox, whatever your particular flavor of pronunciation is. And there's three models, and I decided to go for the Slim Companion, which is 93 millimeter, same size as the Pioneer. And I think it was on the back of. I honestly think that the Lost Boys, so cool, called a certain Mikey Newman, Sean Twitty, and Matt Sawyer are shilling for Victorinox, because it seemed to happen that their release date coincided with a fantastic show that they did last Friday on Swiss Army knives. And
Did they?
I watched it. Yeah, I watched it, and
Oh.
I was overcome with nostalgia and a need to go and fondle my Swiss Army knife, which I haven't done in quite a while.
Whereas it was the first show I missed.
Hmm?
Whereas it was the first show I missed.
You didn't miss it, Stephen. You deliberately avoided it because it had the sack in the title.
Yes.
So the difference with the Slim Companion is that it is actually knifeless, so it doesn't have the knife layer. And it's just I have to say it's lovely. I mean, because it's perfect as an EDC companion is just great. And what they've done is they've added the companion tool instead of, they've replaced the can opener with the companion tool, which is a much better bet. The box opener and Phillips, and it's a fantastic little thing. And as an EDC carry, it's just perfect. For me, it was a sort of satisfaction of a certain level of OCD in me, because this has always bugged me that I've had more than one knife in this pouch because of the redundancy, and now I've got the perfect knife and the perfect tool, and it is just a perfect EDC for me now. So that's my knife news. £39 for the new companion. I honestly have to say that I think it's money well spent. It's a lovely Alox.
I think I'll get one.
I think I will as well, and it's red.
Yeah, and it's red Alox. I mean, come on, what are you doing?
It's red Alox. Come on.
Is that the only color it's coming in at the minute?
Yeah, that one. The Slim Companion's only coming in the red Alox at the minute. The other one, which I see is kind of pointless, is just got the scissors on it, is in Champagne Alox,
right?
Which is the 2019 special limited edition, was in Champagne. I don't particularly like that one, and I don't see the point of the tool. And the third option in the series was they've done the Jet Setter in Alox, which is a lovely wee tool, but it's a wasted opportunity. But it might lay the ground for them doing a Rambler in Alox. Again, yeah. Was that the Vagabond, Mikey, or was it something like, I can't remember the name.
I can't remember that now.
Alox version of the Rambler has got its own name. I'm sure Matt will put it up there. Yeah, it was a nice surprise, and I was pleasant. It's the first new sack I've ordered in a couple of years, and it was quite of a nostalgia trip for me.
Good. Yeah. No, that's the first one in a long time that I've actually wanted to buy, because I think it's just useful.
Yeah. And I mean, as the comment says, the fourth sack in the series was the companion, but it's the red Celador companion, and I suppose it's a climber with the companion tool on it and a nail file. So they changed the tool set out slightly to make it a little bit more useful, or a little bit more flexible, maybe, rather than useful. But it's a nice touch as well, and it's nice to have an addition to the selection available. But the big difference about it is that it's a relatively reasonable price. It's £45 for a 3-layer knife, as opposed to the full £60 or £70 that the original version of the fancy schmancy companion was. So it's good to know. Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. Very good.
That's us. But enough of the Swiss nonsense.
We need to show a knife, don't we?
Yeah, because that failed miserably.
We need to show a knife. So what it was is we had to pick 5 Chinese made knives that we enjoy in our collection. Not necessarily our best and the top knife in our collection, but 5 knives that we like, we use, and yeah. So we done that. I actually had picked 6 there. My counting's not very good. Did we say 6 or 5?
11.
I said 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
I've got 9, so I mean our mathematics is completely up the left.
Well, we'll just see how far we get along the line, shall we? Let's kick it off. And the first one, Mikey, you get us first. Oh no, you went first last week, didn't you?
Yep.
Justin, you go first this week.
Okay, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with a perennial favorite of mine, and I'm gonna go. Hang on a second. I'm gonna go for.
And one thing I'm going to add before Justin starts, we haven't told each other what we've got, so it'll be interesting to see just how many of them are doubles.
Well, it will be interesting to
any.
see. But the other thing it'll be interesting to see is that it'll be interesting to see the grief I get for my interpretation of a knife. Okay, because I've actually got 3 knives.
Oh wow! And 16 fingers. How'd you do that?
Yeah, I've lost 2 because I can't actually hold these up properly. But these are 3 different size knives in pretty much the same series. And this, I just, there's so much nostalgia wrapped up in this. And the nostalgia seems to be featuring today. Because these were really right at the start of my knife journey. And I've kept them. And like Stephen's legendary blue Ganzo, I have kept them, and they're not going anywhere in a hurry. So I'm going to start with the big one. The big one is the Land 920, and it is just a phenomenal piece of kit. It is just as a massive blade. I mean, it is a direct copy or reflection or replica or clone or whatever you want to call it of a Sabenza of some sort. It's got an absolutely smoking edge on it. And of course, this one has been given the Dan Bladebridge treatment. This was one of Dan's original experiments. I sent him the knife over and said, look, Dan, mess around with it, see what you can do with it. And he just played around with it. And I mean, this was his early efforts before he really got mastered it. But the stone washing on it is fantastic, or the acid washing on it, I should say, is fantastic. And his early attempts at sort of file work and everything, I mean, they're not the best, but they're not bad in any way, shape, or form. And it adds so much character to this knife. And this knife is just, it's a phenomenal thing. And it is so sharp that it's almost hard to describe, but it's a beauty. And it's actually too big for me, but I still love carrying it because it's just fantastic. And in terms of too big, the 820, which is the slightly different version of it, this is the one I show quite a bit. This is in titanium and VG10. Again, lovely action, fantastic knife. And this one was probably, I got this for something like 23 quid or something like that. And then I decided to spend 50 quid on this. I mean, you can't do any better than that. I mean, the action on them is unbelievable. The steel on them is really good. But then, this one is particularly special to me because I bought this on the recommendation of a very dear, dear friend of mine.
Oh,
it brings a tear in my eye.
Listen in, everybody. Listen in.
This was one of the first knives that I ordered from AliExpress on the recommendation of a stupid channel called Paddy's Potato Peelers that I became addicted to on the early days of my collecting. And I have to say, he doesn't get many things right, but he got this one right. You know why? Because for $8.99, you cannot do better than this.
No,
it is
fabulous,
phenomenal.
man.
This is the 710, Stephen, wasn't it, or something like that?
That's right. Yeah.
I can't even remember. Yeah, and this was San Remo. The other ones are Land, which are a subsidiary of San Remo, and I mean, Eric Shun was asking about what was what's our favorite brand. I would say probably SRM or Sandra and Moo from China, just because of that's where I started collecting them. Most of them are in 12C27, apart from the other one, the 820 or the 810 in PG10. And it's just they're just fantastic little knives, and I've kept them because they're lovely little knives. Don't use them that much, if at all, but I think they're a very special part of my collection. So the answer to that usual cheeky wee slapper slip joint Sawyer is is they are nonsense, really, but they were a reflection of where I was at the time. Lockdown, COVID. You're buying as many big stupid knives as you possibly can. I'm thinking, yeah. and it is a huge reminder of that time and what we were all going through. So that's my totally irrational reason, Matt. Stuff it up your phone jersey if you don't like it.
Brilliant.
Yeah. San Ramon I mean, they were just San Ramon. Now they're breaking it up into different, as if it's different companies. And I'm sure they're all in the factory SRA. And they just they make for this is a sort of, I've got a nice blade, San Ramon. But Boker sells exactly the same. Fantastic pair of scissors, which is just super big pair of scissors, which actually work really well. They're super scissors.
Yeah, I've got one of those too. Yeah,
So I mean, they make knives for so many companies now, not these companies. When I first started, for little small knives, you know, like fifth pocket knives, San Ramon just made the best small knives out there. They were immaculate. I've still got some that I can't let go of just because of nostalgia.
Yeah. So, and in many ways, that's what it was. Yeah.
Oh, is it me?
Yep. Go for it, big lad.
Yep.
So before Christmas, I would have had a lot of Chinese knives, but my collection has been changing, as most people know, a lot recently, and I don't think I've got a third as many Chinese knives as I had, and I was a little bit unsure about this because I was struggling for like Chinese knives until I looked through the collection and I realised the ones I've kept are the ones that I really, really like. And one of my all-time favourites, and it has been ever since I got one, is the QSP Hedgehog.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Now, this is in 14C28. It's got a half stop. It's got a walk and talk. It's got one of the most slimmest hollow grinds. Honestly, it is absolutely fantastic knife to use. Slip joint. It's got a nice action on it. I'd say the pull's 6 to a 6.5, but it's got a great lockup on it. But the QSP Hedgehog and most QSPs that I've got, I think they're fantastic. To this day, I still think these are an unbelievable knife for the money.
Yeah, they are. They're fantastic. Yeah. I've never been hugely attracted to get one, but you got to appreciate the workmanship on them, and they are definitely a statement in terms of the design. I mean, that is a sheep's foot.
Really, that's a big daddy sheep's foot, and I tell you what, the cutting ability of that hollow grind is second to none. It is honestly one of the best slices that I've got.
Yeah, it really is, and that hollow grind must make it so slicing.
And it sits up so high. I mean, you don't even need like the nail in it because it's just a grab it and lock it open, and you're ready to go.
What's the lockup on it like?
Good.
See this?
Pretty good.
No squish. Excellent.
No squish. Good knife. Really good knife, and the fit and finish, and it's as good as anything.
Yeah, it really is.
It's only 20 years ago that Chinese knives were crap. And what has scary is how much they've improved their bogs to go to now. Their whole range now, they can go up into the knives that are in the many hundreds to buy. And they're just super quality knives.
I've got a little bit of a theory about this. I think that's when a lot of the Western knife companies started to have a range of knives made in China. And I think the quality just jumps up literally overnight.
Yeah. But I think that's what happened.
It really is. And China are...
One of you.
I think that's what happens with Chinese production, though, is that they do a baseline of stuff as they learn and get the factory into position and get everything working, and then they work and whittle away at the quality every time, and it's probably the demands from producers that force them to focus on the production quality as well. Now, I'm even listening to myself, and I am thinking, you know, it is hard to speak about these things and not start thinking about all the political aspects of the things. And we are not blind to them, folks, but this is not the forum for us to talk about this. We're talking about knives, so we are well aware of the possible ethical problems of supporting Chinese industry or whatever else, but this is about the knives that we have bought and the knives that we've enjoyed, so we're going to keep it that way. But Stephen, what do you have? Have you got anything else to add to show us there in terms of knives?
I've got no surprise that it's a Ganzo, but it's not my little. I show that too often. So I've actually picked. It's the 729 copy or homage to the Spyderco PM2. Now there is a difference in these two, because I now have a Spyderco PM2 again version. On top, there you go. Spyderco, although it's not looking it on here, the Spyderco is a little bit big. Can't really see it. You're not trying to get it, but the Spyderco down there a little bit bigger. But the handle on the Ganzo is fatter, and it's more comfortable in the hand than the Spyderco. To be honest, for me, it's just, you know, for a large size hand, and you can choke up if you want. But this, when I choke up on more sticking out of the bottom, can you see? And that's me choking.
Yeah.
Up the Ganzo. It's. I just think this is fabulous, and it's in 4 feet. It has as good of action. It's the Ganzo has. It has an axis lock, or the G lock. Is I couldn't get rid of this. I just think it's such a well-made knife. It's kept, like, I've had it for years, still centered. I've never had tighten a screw. I've never broke a spring on any Ganzos, and all the original Ganzos had axis locks. Never broke on Benchmade.
Yeah.
Just as a, you know, lucky, don't know, but I know a lot of people have had Benchmates go. I've never heard of anybody losing a Ganzo spring because it was thicker than the else. But a super knife, and I need to buy one of these and try it. Look, I've got this as well. These were about 16, 17 pound when I was first buying them. I mean, that was just phenomenal back then, but now they're about 20, 28, I'm not sure. But buy one. Just honestly, if you want a beater knife, you want to learn how to sharpen, it's 440Cs.
Yeah. Easy
to sharpen. And just a super knife. This is a version of this. And that's exactly what it is. It was the design of Sal. Just super. Absolutely super. But this as a substitute, if these are over £200 now, if you're buying them new, to me that's pricing me out. Me out. but I got this second hand, which always buy second hand if you can, because honestly, the knife will never be as good a year later. You know what I mean? So that's my first one, the Gamzo, and they're still available today. Get them and then come back to me and tell me I'm wrong.
Stephen. Not that you'll listen, Stephen. You're the worst has happened as we feared.
As we feared.
Yeah. The reason why I'm at home is actually just to answer everybody out there, is that they've been working on Stephen's internet in his area, so he is suffering from the dying hamster on his internet. So yes, we're well aware, but that's why I am not in my usual cuddly position beside him, you know. So if you can bear with us, hopefully it will improve.
But it was about 10 minutes before 7 again, because I've had 6 days now with it down on one bar or two while they were working on it. I kept the basic one going. Yeah, losing my wee night with you lot. So for every euro I spend on
someone
Chinese
said,
knives,
can we reboot Paddy?
There's no rebooting Paddy.
I'd love to boot him. What?
Okay, is it my second? Is it my fourth knife then? Should I say?
It's your second one.
Yeah. It's my fifth one.
Yeah, just gone.
Well, I suppose I'm going to go to the opposite end of the spectrum and go in at, as Stephen was saying, and as we were talking about. I mean, we talked about how we got into Chinese knives as a great entry point of getting into cheap knives, and I think that's fine. And I don't think we can talk about Chinese production without talking about Jack Wolf. And I know I'm taking my life in my hands here, Mikey, so don't worry too much about it. But it's Jack Wolf, when they came out originally, they were a game changer in terms of just quality of the knives, also in terms of the price, because they're freaking expensive, and they've just got more and more expensive as they've got on. But it is a reflection of what the market's willing to bear for a knife. And as Stephen said, I mean, 20 years ago, China sold crap knives, and now they're selling top-end, state-of-the-art knives for big money. So yes, in answer to Eric and others, I love my Jack Wolf knives. I've got 4 of them, and I love them to bits. It's just, I think the quality of them, the materials of them, even the design, especially the early ones, the design of the early ones was fantastic. And this knife particularly, which is the Midnight Jack, is just one of my favorites. I mean, to come on the back of Mikey's QSP, this to me is the epitome of a perfect ram's foot blade. It's just a ram's foot Barlow even. I mean, it's just phenomenal. So this is an M390 with titanium bolsters and micarta, which were originally a dark gray, and then Stephen dyed them this maroon color, this wine color, which makes them unique and absolutely makes the knife stand out as a fantastic piece. The lockup on it is extraordinary. The sound of a Jack Wolf is second to none. And
I've got to say, Judd, there's not much Jack Wolf love in the chat.
Not many of them, not much. But this is the thing, is that because of the cycle I think of the cycle of this was a game changer at the time, and we're going to be talking about that later on, because it keeps on seeming to happen that there's more things that can come out, and we'll be talking about Rosecraft in a little bit, because that was another game changer that almost refocused us away from the need for the high end all singing all dancing ones to the beauty of a well-priced, reasonably priced, good, well-made knife. And I think that was an eye-opener to all of us. And as we can see, now we know mean, Jack Wolf's even brought out the gateway knives. That is
Yeah.
showing that there's definitely a market for those type of knives because you don't need to be it. And I mean, I'd agree with the overpriced. I cannot say that it's junk, Matt. It is not junk. Okay, that was my knife number 3.
I agree with you, Justin. I think it's one of the best production materials. Fantastic. I am never going to change that. 35, that was at my limit for them. It's very hard for me to keep promoting that when it started there. It's a fantastic. Now, just for me, it's the middle range that they brought out. I thought was a complete. I thought that was a rip-off at £200 for 420, and you know, it was just steel, and I just didn't think. But the budget one at £70, again, absolutely fantastic quality. I bought one with my own money, and it's fantastic. Fantastic. I'm not a hater, but it sort of slipped away from me, if you know what I mean. We'd been asking for. I'm glad they're here now, and people can see, because the fit and finish. Instead, I got one here to show tonight from. I don't know how you would want anything better than these in whatever price, because there's nothing that I can pick up on these knives for fit and finish. Rose doing it now for a couple of years, and they're just killing it. And I love that about them. I say. So I said too much.
No,
Mikey,
no.
what's yours?
No, what's it? The only problem is, Stephen, it's taking you twice as long to say it because your signal's breaking up.
I'm going to go at this because this is a knife I picked up on the recommendation of Slip Joint Sawyer and TK. And I was quite late to the party, and then I recommended it to Stephen, and Stephen bought it, and I think we both really love this knife. And it's a Rough Rider.
There we go.
And this is the Cinnamon Bone Stag Barlow in carbon steel.
Is that bell ringing? Is that double bell ringing, Stephen?
Ding, 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 ding. I'm going to change it for another one.
I think this is $23.95 on Heine Haynes, and for the money to get it's a bone stag. It's not a genuine stag, but to get a carbon steel single bladed clip point Barlow with, I'm not going to say the world's greatest fit and finish, but it's pretty good. It is pretty good. It's got a half stop. It's centered right down the middle. Comes in a nice box if you're bothered about like the packaging and stuff, but I've yeeted the box. The box is long gone. But this is just a lovely little Barlow for 24 quid. And as far as value for like money goes, I'm still not sure you can beat Rough Rider for traditional pocket knives.
No.
And this is one that I would recommend to anybody, whether you've got an expensive set of knives or a cheaper end knives. It's just a lovely knife. It doesn't matter about the price. It's just a great Barlow.
It just looks much more than what you're paying for it.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Look at that. It's got a pinched bolster. The back spring's lovely.
I mean, that knife aside, and that is a wonderful example of Rough Rider knives. What is, in your opinion, the best? What has been the best thing about buying Rough Riders?
The best thing, I think, for me, from where I came into Rough Riders, I was quite new to traditional knife patterns. So Rough Rider allowed me to buy a lot of new and used knives very, very cheap to find out how I got on with them, because there was so many patterns. So I got to learn all the different patterns, all the different names for stuff, and I didn't spend a fortune for like £200 you could literally get like 20 knives, you know, and you could try out Barlow's and a Congress and a Sail Belly and a Stockman and a Doctor's knife. You know, there was so many knives. And the best thing is that you can get a nice collection of knives, well made, for not a lot of money.
Yeah. And how many of us have gone through exactly that process, buying, you know, lots of, well, not maybe not even lots of them, but Rough Riders, because they're so affordable, just to see what the knives are like, to see if it works in hand, if it's something that cuts well, if it and whatever else. Stephen, would you have had the same experience?
Absolutely. That's where Ganzo and Rough Riders were my gateway into the whole knife world.
Yeah,
because
they have a lot to answer for them.
Yeah, it's just absolutely the best. The best way to get into anything is going cheap and learning about what you like and what you don't like before you spend the big money.
Yeah. I mean, Mikey, how many did you have at one time?
Rough Riders. Well, I've pretty much got the full series of the carbon steel cinnamon bone stags. I think I was up to about 50 or 60 Rough Riders. Then I started to cut them down again, but this was the series that I wanted to keep, and then I went more Barlow. So then I started to get Barlows, and I was picking up used mint Rough Rider Barlows for £7.50.
Yeah.
You know, so I've probably got about 20 Rough Riders and about 12 of those are Barlows.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, amazing,
absolutely super. Well,
and then someone was saying there about. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that Mike Adams had said that what Rough Rider did then when they expanded it out to Rough Rider Reserve by bringing in a little sort of level more of quality, and were they the first ones to introduce D2 on of a budget brand on the traditional knives? Oh, that Barlow is just to die for. Still,
well, they weren't the first. Queen made D2 knives for years ago. You know, they'd made D2 on theirs, but it was the first budget knife that had D2. Traditional wise, I think. Yeah, and there's, like somebody said, Rough Rider Reserve. This is one that I have out, and this is the Patriot. And this is a modern version of a ram's foot because it has belly, but it has that typical ram blade. You know, it's larger here, thinner. This is absolutely, I got this off Justin. Justin gave me this, and I absolutely love it. I think it's an amazing work knife. It's not skinny, but it's not heavy duty. Not heavy. It's heavy duty, all right. Full 4-finger grip on it with a fantastic blade, super back spring, half stop, and it would take your fingers off. It's an absolute joy. I mean, this to spend the extra money on this, is it much better than the basic model? Yeah, it is better. The fit and finish is better. It is better. The fit and finish is better more often than what these will be. The blade steel is much better than what these are. Although this series, the carbon steel series,
lovely,
is phenomenal. The carbon steel, I was shocked when I got the Barlow after you recommended it. It blew my head away that I could get that for that price, 23 quid, for a carbon steel blade that just cuts.
Yeah.
So it was definitely Rough Rider are definitely they've been the standout for a long, long time, and they're not letting it slip. They've incrementally got a bit better each year. So,
and here's an interesting wee comment from Mimo. Yeah, and then just when you find your pattern, then you step up the case. Is that a mistake?
That's the beauty of it. You can start off cheap. You can find the patterns that you really like, and then you can look at case knives and GECs and Sheffield knives and stuff. And then obviously you do start to like spend a bit more, but it's a gateway drug, isn't it? Rough Rider.
Yeah. And I think he said the way case is going at the minute, there's so many faults with a case knife over a basic Rough Rider sometimes. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
As far as
I think that's definitely the point.
Yeah.
And it's what many of us have had the sort of experience of. And it's really frustrating. I mean, we've said this about Case many times, and Case unfortunately often becomes the whipping boy for the quality side of things. But they got to own it. I really hope that they're turning a corner at some point and that they're going to bring it back, because they do make some fantastic knives. But
well, here's the nice thing. If you're going to get into Case, make sure you get your eyes on them first, or know the person you're buying it off that's going to be honest and tell you what it's like, because there's nothing worse than spending 60-70 quid on a case and there's big gaps in it. The
That's
blade's right off
disappointing.
center.
That is so disappointing.
It is. I mean, the knife still works.
Don't get me wrong,
the knife still works.
Yeah.
But as visually as something that you want to hold, and it puts me off. So I've got a lovely collection of Case knives, but they're nearly all handpicked from friends that I know that wouldn't tell me.
Oh, they're used, and you get the photo, don't you? And it's got a good action, and it's a little bit older generally.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, it's like, and it's not just Case, as you say, Justin. They're the whipping boys. It's not just. There's too many companies, not just American either. I'm not picking on America either. There's too many companies that let that slip when they're doing well and they're getting on, and then they let it slip because they're just not giving it the same love that,
I think,
we expect.
I think those big companies know that they're going to get a lot of sales, and they still get a lot of sales in our case, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, I love a Case knife.
And that's sad.
I love a Case knife. I really do. And every time I find a good one, it makes me so happy to add one to the collection.
Yeah. But it would be nice. It would be nice to see, as you say, Stephen, all of those companies to take a page out of that book of quality management and stepping it up. And I mean, hopefully, that can only be good for us, the buyers, if regional and national companies look at what the competition's doing and realize that they're going to have to step up and provide something a little bit more,
Justin, here's the case. What I think of sacks. I don't really count them as knives. They're pocket knives for camping or something. That's what I would use them for, right? It's not something I carry on a daily basis. But they make more knives than anybody else in the world. And how often have you had a bad one?
Never.
And it's nearly unheard of. So it's not going to take a whole lot to change that production side where you've got somebody going, not right, send it back, not right, send it back. If some bloke's just making an arse of them all after the end of the month, goodbye, get somebody else in.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not hard to do. It's not rocket science. It's just checking that your product is good.
Yeah, and it's investing in that quality.
But like selling a pair.
Yeah.
But like selling a pair of tights with no feet.
I know.
You know what I mean? Would you let it go through?
No. And I think that is what makes it worse, Stephen. It's the fact that it isn't rocket science, and it is part and parcel of what you should be doing as a producer. But it's almost like a slap in the face to the people who would like to buy from them. You're insulting people's intelligence and discrimination in terms of being able to choose what they want to buy. But anyway, enough of that contention. What's our next knife? Whose knife? Whose turn is it?
Stephen. Judd.
Your turn.
Stephen's just on the patriarch.
Judd then.
Yeah, it's you, Dave.
Well, seeing as we talked about them, and you're going to have to help me here, Stephen, or maybe Matt, because I don't know the name of this knife, because it's my most recent Rosecraft. I spoiled that by going the wrong way. And see, it goes with my shirt. Ooh.
That is lovely.
Look at the green on that. That's really popping. Isn't that fantastic?
That's a nice knife, isn't it?
It's not a sweet knife.
And that's
is this the Buffalo Creek or something?
Is that's in,
I can't remember the name.
Is it micarta?
Yeah, it's green micarta. It's fabulous. Look at the shield on it. It's just magical. It's that classic Rosecraft.
Yeah, it came in two varieties. It came in the blue bone and the green.
I'm torn between both of those handles because they're both wonderful. I do like the blue bone. I do like the green as well.
Well, I mean, in that case, Mikey, you should just have both.
It's the Buffalo River Jack, isn't it? Yeah.
The Buffalo River Jack. The Buffalo River Jack. And
yeah, of course it is.
Yes. By Rosewood, as Stephen would say.
Andy, we are so sorry.
Thank you very much, Matt. Just in time. But this one is a cracking
Yeah.
knife. It's one of their more recent releases, even though it's a sort of re-roll or a re-release of an earlier knife that had the lever or the pivot. What do you call that thing? The pry bar on the end.
Yeah.
Which
that was Marmite, wasn't it? That was complete Marmite.
Yeah, it was either love it or hate it. But
it's a nice knife.
Yeah, but released like this really, to me, this feels almost like a GEC because the design of it is very, very sweet, you know. But it's just a lovely, elegant knife, absolutely cracking in design, and a beautiful blade. That blade is fantastic. The more I have this,
Yeah, you like that shape, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I really do. It's very, very nice. And I mean, again, how much were they, Stephen? They were about 68 or something, or 70?
Yeah,
I think about 68.95. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Well, it's such a good price for that quality, and getting D2.
Look at that.
It is lovely.
Exactly. How much better do you need a knife to be made? I don't know. I mean, and I'm asking that question to myself now, because I'm questioning why am I buying all these custom knives at £300 and all, and their fit and finish is no better than that, and it's in all steel like most custom knives. So it's not as if you're stepping down at all.
I think we're
I'm just starting to question.
I think we're probably at the stage now where the fit and finish and that can't actually get a lot better than what a lot of knife companies are doing.
Exactly.
There's nothing they can do now other than get higher end materials and not blade steels, because the fit and finish on some knives now is that good.
Yeah,
it is. It's just fantastic. And I mean,
go ahead, Stephen.
It's just. I keep asking myself this question: is how good do you need a knife to be fit and finished that lifts it above something else? How much better does it need to be? If it's got nice walk and talk, it's got a nice spring, it's got, a nice blade design, a nice handle. Yeah, it's really hard for me to reach up now and buy something that's £200-300 because my Rosecraft works picking brilliantly. It's just.
But
just simple as that, it works fantastic.
But haven't we said that about our own particular? I mean, we've talked about what we like to term our knife journeys, and I mean, we've all gone through a stage of you collect cheap and build up a collection, and you get the knives in hand, and then you go through particular waves of looking for different things, and you go and going through the expensive custom side of things is one part of that journey.
Yeah.
But it seems to be that we've cycled all the way back round again. Now we've sort of settled on a nice middle ground. But there really is. I mean, I really do have to ask myself. I mean, I'm not going to buy another Jack Wolf. And I would think twice before I bought something like a Pena or a Chris Reeve or anything like that. Simply because of what you're saying, Stephen, the satisfaction and the use I can get out of a knife for 80 or 90 quid max. I mean, why would you? Why would you spend more than that unless it was something really, really special?
There's the Crucarda, which drew everybody wanted Crucarda when it first came out.
Yeah.
But they're about 230 quid or something new. I mean, I got this for 130 a trade for 130, and it had been used a bit. Somebody put the acid wash on it, but it's still a Crucarda, and it's a used knife. It's not a knife that's going to be up on a shelf for display. It's just a used knife, like most of my knives are. They're just used. They don't sit up on a display anywhere. So I'm really questioning this price thing. I really do want to set myself an upper limit, and I think I'm coming to about £200 is my upper limit now. Where it gone?
I think we all know that that these knives are generally factory made CNC machines. There's not cutlers there, and I think my limit is probably around the 200 for that type of knife. I will go above for the handmade stuff, which is what I love. But I still have a place for these knives. But I think about around about the £200 is a nice limit to have on these kind of knives that are not handmade and they're not made by fully trained cutlers and that,
Yeah.
But I still love them.
Yeah.
I still appreciate them.
Oh, absolutely.
Sean,
And I mean, I love. Go.
Sean made a fantastic point there. When it comes to like a handmade working knife that we all enjoy, like Arthur Wright's and Wolstenholme, and the knives that we in the UK collect a lot, although a lot in America are collecting them now as well, which I'm really happy to see. I mean, you're not going to get perfection. There'll always be something in them that's going to, but they're priced so that they can be. They're made quickly, cheaply, as cheap as they can get them to you out the door, made by hand, not a machine, and made by hand, and they get them out the price at 40 quid a knife or 45 pound a knife. That's unbelievable. I don't expect, hours and hours of people checking over it and do it. They're just knocking them out and working knives. That I accept 100%. It doesn't. And if it did, they would change them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it was something bad, they would change it. So
Tim makes an interesting point: is that every time he buys a custom knife, there's something that lets him down on it, and I think that's got to do an awful lot with the return on the money that you put into it. Because when you spend £80 on a knife and you get that, you're getting value for money. When you spend
naturally, when you're thinking I'll spend £400, it must be perfect. But that's where the handmade side of it comes in, and it's not always perfect. Probably, I don't know. I do have knives that I think are, that are nigh on perfect, but that doesn't always correspond, does it? Like the price.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think what we've got.
It's funny because a lot of us.
What we've got is.
Go ahead.
Go, Stephen. Go.
No, go ahead.
I think what we've got is the notion of sort of marginal gains is that the more money you spend, the less return you get on it, because all you're doing is sort of paying a lot more for a tiny little bit extra. And I think with buying in the knife worlds, I think we've all arrived at a point where we're not willing to spend a huge amount of money for those tiny little marginal gains that we've had before and really didn't do anything for us any. I think you've probably got to go through it to get over it. But, I agree with you. I'm sort of over that.
Yeah.
James Thompson makes a really good point. You're always willing to use your cheaper knives more, aren't you?
More, absolutely,
as well.
Yeah. But here's the thing that does get me. Here's the thing that does get me. I mean, if I'm buying a knife for 300 quid, say, right, and I want to resell it, get the money towards another knife, there's Jack Wolf at the minute. They're about £300 to buy. They're on the secondary market now for 130. That's a really bad return on that knife, and that's a week later. That's not a year later. That's a week later.
That's a £355 knife, scratching to get 130.
Yeah, and that's quite a few times in the last few weeks that I've seen that. Quite a few. Not just one or two.
From a collector's perspective, though, you've got to factor that into your purchases, because you want to spend that kind of money and then find that if you don't like it, you're going to at least get a good part of it back. When it goes down that much, that's soul destroying, really.
Yeah, really is. I mean, that's
the sort of thing that. Well, it is if you want to sell it. If you don't want to sell it and you love that knife, but if you do want to sell it or like trade it, that's when when you don't want to take a beating.
But that's the point. I think that's it exactly, Mikey. If you're willing to take the chance and you get a knife that you love, like I do with that one, and I do not begrudge spending the money, and I got this for a good price. I will never sell that because I'm not interested in what I can get for it. It's because it's one of my favorite knives.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't spend the money again because I couldn't be sure that I would get the same fizz out of another one. I'd prefer to look and spend somewhere else because I've been there, done that kind of thing. It's part of getting through it. But we've talked long enough. We've wittered on long enough without showing a knife. So whose turn is it, Mikey?
My turn. And I've got a Rosecraft as well to show because I've got a lot of Rosecrafts, and this is rapidly becoming one of my favourites. This is the Elk River Easy Open in Rosewood, I think it is.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
And it's got a lovely lamb's foot blade, which is swedged. I wasn't sure about this when I first saw the picture on the release, and then I got the knife, and I was like, "Wow, this kind of reminds me of a British blade, you know, that lamb's foot."
Very Ashley like in style.
Very Ashley like. That's
Very
probably it.
Ashley,
Now you've
Ashley
said that.
Arthur, right? Yeah.
Now you've said it. It is very Ashley in style. I love the skull shield because that just reminds me of like Randy and that. But the rope. I mean, again, the fit and finish is flawless. It's got D2 steel. I love D2 steel. I love tall steels. Half stop, lovely action on it, and I think it just looks really nice. It's just such a cool little knife, and it is quite a small knife. It's not a huge knife. I can squeeze 4 fingers on there, but 3's comfortable.
Perfect DDC knife though.
Just a great little knife, and I think these are about 70 quid or 64 even. And I just think,
yeah.
I mean, with that skull shield, because the other one that I was going to show, which has been my previous favourite Rosecraft, was the Overall Creek Farmhand.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah.
Nice.
But now it's in blue micarta, and Stephen's right. It just jumps up a level. It's just so much better, and it was great previously. But this now for me is.
If you want a beater that you're not going to do any harm to it, the handle material is just perfect for a beater. It looks fantastic. It's just class.
And again, fit and finish. I know it's flawless. I know it sounds like we just keep saying like the same thing, and we're not, but this is. Rosecraft is probably my favourite Chinese brand.
Yeah, and Zenali makes a good point, but to be honest, Zenali, I don't think you buy these kind of knives thinking they're going to increase in value. These are for use because they're at a price for use, and I mean, buying a custom maker or buying a high-end knife with high-end materials, yes, you might expect a design, a piece of design like the Schleich buoy from Spyderco or one of the fancy Benchmades. Maybe you expect it to appreciate, but these knives, they're going to be like the old case knives that are stuck in somebody's tool drawer. They're going to turn up 30 years hence and still be as usable as ever, but nobody's going to spend a fortune on them.
But I just wanted to show that. If you see that, now I know it's not a lamb's foot, this is a sheep's foot, but this is a very early Ashley. This was my first ever Ashley. Look at the blade, the swedge, the big swedge down the front of it.
Yeah.
It's got a sign. This knife's been used. It's not sitting the cleanest, but it's got an absolutely wonderful big swedge right down the front, and it's got the easy open. Now I had asked them to put the easy open in and all, but I mean, it's just, and I think Rosecraft has really hit on that. I don't know, that British version of pocket knives, which is just super to me. It's what attracts me.
Yeah. Fabulous. Yeah. I know. I think they're rocking it out of the park. So we're coming up in an hour. Stephen, is that your last knife, or do you have another one that you want to have a look at? Or
I have another one I'd really like to have a look at.
Let's have a look then.
This is the Who Knives new. It's in pre-order at the minute. This is the Who Knives Dragon, and I think this knife. I don't know. I think it's one of them shaped. It's going to be some will like it, some won't. It's got different facet cuts on the blade. It's got a hollow grind in the beginning and then a flat grind at the top. But you sharpen it all as one, which is just fantastic. But it looks so different. It's titanium. It's M390, full 4-finger grip, slip joint. But you can open and close it one-handed with ease because you've got the thumb studs there. And to me, this will probably be my knife for the year. And I'm a shill because I got this given to me. And I don't care because I do genuinely believe for me, this is a knife of the year product. I love it. And if you're at Sharp Show this year, which is in 2 months' time, you'll see us 3 there as well. So keep your eyes out. Come and say hello.
Absolutely. And I mean,
come and chin Stephen.
Come, yeah, we'll be selling tickets to Punch Stephen. Yes, that we could make some money out of that. We really could.
You said just be quick, Hat.
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
Punch me quick, hat. That'll be it. Yeah. But Robin was saying earlier that about Rough Rider, being we're talking about them as Chinese knives, but it's an American company, Smoky Mountain Knife Works, who design and commission the knives, same as Rosecraft do, same as Jack Wolf do, and that's what Carl does for Who Knives as well. It's because designers, and that's another thing that the opportunity that Chinese production offers people who want to express themselves by designing and building their own knives, but don't have the production facilities to do it. It actually becomes affordable to do it and import it from China. And I think James Richards has done it by with the Junsies and everything for Twisted Assisted, hasn't he, Mikey? In terms of repurposing. And wasn't the Junsi originally a Best Tech?
It's a Best Tech, yeah.
Yeah. So he repurposed the design with lower, with less.
I love the great steel. They went from F35 down to D2, didn't they?
D2, so to make it more, to price it back into a more appealing state. I mean, all those options are available to people who want to play around and do something in the knife building world, which I think is a great opportunity for people. So it was, it does make it interesting. My last one is, somebody mentioned Civivi earlier on, and I think we've got to talk about this, because I think we've sort of waxed poetic, and we've really sung the praises of the Chinese knives that are out there. So I'm gonna sort of draw to a close by pointing out one of the disadvantages to the knives that the Chinese knives are bringing in. Now, this is a fabulous knife. Don't get me wrong. I love this knife to bits. This is the Appalachian Drifter 2.
Yep.
And it is an S35 VN steel. It is a fantastic blade. It's a hollow grind. It has got some of the blade does almost disappear in there. It is so slicey. It is unbelievable. And it was my wedding carry at my nephew's wedding over the summer. And in the Highlands of Scotland, it was fantastic. And it's just a beautiful knife. Civivi was another one along with San Remo that got me into buying knives. The Elementum was another favorite of mine. Stephen, I think, may have the Elementum slip joint.
I've got the slip joint version.
As does Mikey.
Civivi, absolutely super.
They make fantastic knives. It's so good. In fact, I've got two of the Drifter, the 1 and the 2, the back lock and the liner lock. I just love, for me, this clip point is I just love it to bits. I think it's the most beautiful thing, really do. But to bring me back to my point, and one that you guys can disagree with or whatever else, the one thing that I would complain about with Chinese knives is that they flood the market with too much stuff. You cannot bloody keep up with it. I mean, you every time you turn around, there's 10, not one. There's 10 new Civivis, 10 new Kaisers, 10 new QSPs. And I mean, you can't,
Bosteeds.
And after a while, what I've noticed is after a while, they all start to look the flaming same. Am I wrong? Am I hallucinating?
No, because once somebody's getting good, once somebody develops a knife and everybody starts buying it, another 10 companies in China copy it and put something very similar out.
Kaisers, petrified fish. There's literally so many of them.
But I think the thing is that after you do calm down in your buying, because we're all a bit hectic at the beginning, after a few years or whatever, you do start to think, God, there's too many there. I can't pick from that. I'll step away from that for a minute and do something else if you're wise. Because if you get caught up in trying to buy all the new ones that come out, you're in a road to ruin. Absolutely road to ruin.
It's true. It's true. Well, lads, are we done, or have you got anything else to show us?
Well, I will show this Vosteed because this is the reason why I got rid of my Kaiser Drop Bear, which was also another Chinese knife. And I thought the Kaiser Drop Bear had one of the best actions, even over the Bug Out, which is kind of what it was made to go up against. But then I've got this Vosteed from Mac, and it's awesome. It's really good. It's in 14C28. As you can see, the action is phenomenal on it. And
Incredible.
this was, what can I say? I wasn't using that Kaiser drop bear, and I had a fair bit of money in it, and I moved it on. And this is just as good for a lot less money. So,
What's the difference?
what's the difference?
Money wise.
Well, the drop bear I had was like, I think it was about 140, 150, and I think this is about 60 or 70.
3% is the difference.
So it's like half price.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to prove a point here. Here's a QB.
QB, that's another brand.
Look at that for a fantastic big knife. That is a big work knife.
But they do look very similar, don't they?
Yeah.
All of these knives are starting to look very similar.
Exactly. It definitely is. It's, you know, and this is like so many opening methods. You can do it with your finger, flick it open with your finger, there's a flipper. It's just, I can't do it with my finger. Oh, there you go. But yeah, I just think that a lot of the bigger companies are going to have to, and this is a wild prediction, but I think their top end knives are going to have to drop in price.
I think so too.
I think they will.
Yeah.
Because they're so good at the medium range, the high range is struggling to get people up there. I think they will do.
Well, I think it's going to be one of two things. It's either certain companies that shall remain nameless are going to have to bring back better quality in their knives, or they're going to have to start bringing their prices down.
Yeah. It's true. It's true. Well, I've got a couple of contentious little ones to throw in. The first one is from Knifeless in Seattle, and I would like to take a vote in the chat. Should Knifeless in Seattle be banned from the comments for even suggesting that our proud tradition of Arthur Wright would even think about moving to China? No, say it ain't so. No. Burn the heretic. Burn the heretic.
I'm not going to pop in then if they move to like Beijing or somewhere.
Oh yeah, I mean that'll be, apart from anything else, Knifeless, that'll make it almost next to impossible for Mikey to pop in and check on the progress of our knives.
Exactly.
I suppose the other thing that we should say, Stephen, is that we would like the community to pray for us, or I'd like the community to pray for me, because I'm going camping with Stuart and Stephen tomorrow, and Mother of Mercy, please have some on my soul.
There's a big camping weekend. We've got camping over in Northern Ireland, and we've got camping down in Wales.
Fantastic.
There's going to be lots of camping. This weekend, we should be camping in Wales in Tony Tenshed's, one of his many, many fields. He's like a huge landowner down there, isn't he?
Yeah. What are they calling the boy with the Dallas with the cowboy hat?
Elan.
No, Ewing. He's one of the
J.R. Ewing. He's like the J.R. Ewing oil money. He comes from chip fat. Yeah.
J.R. Tensheds.
Right, lads, we've been on for nearly 1 hour and 10 minutes. We've gone through our knives far too fast, so I reckon we'll call it a night there. Folks, thank you so much for joining us. There are 48 in the chat. And
thank you so much. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed.
Yep.
Tell them,
please,
Justin, tell them.
And if you feel charitable, even hit the like button. What about that?
Yeah, that would be
just lie and just hit the like button. It's fine. We don't judge.
People to lie, Mikey. Come on,
we don't judge, do we? Come on.
Just subscribe.
They judge us.
You like it.
Oh dear. But folks, thank you very much to everybody. As Tim would say, good night to everybody, and thanks again for joining us for this nonsense.
And it's good night from me.
And
it's good night.